good day, ladies and gentlemen. Miracle Boy Boxing Live coming to you from St. Croix, Virgin Islands. Live with you guys about fights that happened last night in the Emmanuel Navarette versus Liam Wilson card. I'm here to break down my reaction on every fight that happened. So my first fight will be the Emiliano Fernando Vargas Francisco Duque fight. I've always been impressed with the Vargas brothers. All three of them are very talented. Uh, They say Emiliano is the best out of the three. I say all three talented, but Emiliano was the one that fought last night. He displayed a pretty good boxing skills, very good counter shots, good reflexes, and his opponent did not make it easy. His name is Francisco Duque. Uh, he came to fight, man, and he had a pretty good style. He was giving him some problem with his straight left hands out of that southpaw stance. I was really surprised of his opponent. He was really having some good success in that fight, giving Vargas some problems, and Vargas was able to withstand those issues and was able to display some pretty good boxing skills, keep his composure, stick to the game plan, didn't let it get discouraged, and he got the job done. He passed the test. I've been a fan of Fernando Vargas from when he was fighting, and I watch all his fights, so he was always an entertaining fighter. A lot of heart, a lot of guts, and his sons they all look like they show those same display, those that same heart, the same skills, talent, and will to win. And I'm looking forward to all three of those young gentlemen, the sons of Fernando Vargas, to succeed in the boxing game. So Emiliano scored the decision win, and on to the next. I'm looking forward to his next fight. And that's that with that fight. Then we got Lindufu Delgado versus Clarence Booth. Delgado, 2016 Olympian, excellent boxer puncher. If you saw the fight last night, you can see how fluently his combinations flew all in the ring. The way he places his shots is like with ease. A lot of that amateur experience came into play, and Boots showed a lot of heart. Totally outclassed, but showed a lot of heart. He was always in the fight, never gave up. He almost got stopped, and he made the decision on his feet. So Delgado on to the next. We've seen him in his fight with Aguilar, toe to toe, fight of the year type of fight. So he's no joke. He's a pretty good 140, solid fighter. Can he beat the best? He has the skills to do it. So looking forward to his next fight. That was a pretty good display of boxing skills from Delgado last night. Nico Ali Walsh versus Ayala. Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali. The name of Ali gets butts in seats, and they want to see this kid display, see how far he gets in boxing. In the beginning, I was like, okay, Ali grandson, let me take a look. First fight, not too bad. Second fight, okay, I think it was the third fight where he won, but he didn't do it convincingly. And that's where he came back in the rematch and stopped that guy in a body shot. So the good thing about Nico Ali Walsh is that he's been improving in his fights, which I'm happy for. I'm rooting for the kid. I want to see him succeed in boxing, and hopefully he can. I don't expect him to reach the level of his grandfather, but a pretty good solid career. That's what I want to see. And so far so good, man. He's displaying a good jab, good body shots, very good combination, solid 1-2, one of the most devastating right hands in boxing. That if he lands that right hand on you, it's gonna do a lot. It's gonna do a lot of damage. And we've seen it in past fights. Too, when the right hand landed solid, his opponent went straight on his back, lights out. So got to be careful of that right hand. Nico Ali Walsh, very promising prospect. I like that every fight he's developing. The guy he fought, Ayala, gave him a really good fight. And Ali stayed composed when he was on the ropes, in the pocket. He didn't get discouraged. He held. He he countered, he kept his hands up, and he did what he had to do to win the fight. So it was a pretty good fight and good performance from Nico Ali Walsh. Andres Cortez versus Luis Menez, another Puerto Rico versus Mexico clash. Pretty good fight. The only thing I didn't like about the fight was that too much holding, a lot of wrestling, more wrestling and holding in boxing. Luis Melendez he's a pretty good fighter. The thing that Luis Melendez lacks is that in the second half of the fight, he stops to throw his punches. Maybe he's a little tired, but that's what made him suffer his recent loss prior to this fight. That he kind of faded and he was no longer throwing his hands, and that cost him the fight. Same thing last night. He gave away the fight. If he kept his hands going and kept the pace like he did in the first half of the fight, Cortez and his fight with Cortez, he'd have probably had a chance to win that fight, or make it, even more closer than what it was. But because of not throwing the hands enough, I guess he faded, and he the second half of the fight, Cortez took over, man. He overwhelmed him, and Melendez just could no longer pull the trigger. So Luis Melendez, I don't know, this is the second time he's done this in a fight, back to back. Second half of the fight, he stopped throwing his punches. He looks tired. I don't know. If Luis Melendez wants to fight the best, he cannot keep doing that. He's got to get that second half. He's got to be active in that second half. He cannot be slowing down and not throwing punches and letting the fight slip away. He's done that two fights in a row now. So Cortez, on the other hand, got the job done. He was much more active, especially in the second half, and the more busy fighter. And he got the job done. It was not a perfect performance. It was a very sloppy fight. Both guys holding so much, a lot of wrestling, like I said. But Cortez got the job done, and he deserved the victory. Now, the next fight on the main card was Torres Jr., heavyweight Olympian, silver medalist, against Bryant. It is what it is. Torres went in there and did what he had to do, landed a solid right uppercut. She was a left uppercut right on the chin of Bryant, and Bryant went down. Prior to that, Bryant was outclassed, and it was just a matter of time. Torres on to the next very promising heavyweight. Can't wait to see him fight a real challenge. Barbosa Jr. versus Pedraza. That's one of my main fights that I was looking forward to on that card. One of the main reasons why I sat in the living room and watched the boxing card last night, because I was looking forward to Pedraza to upsetting Barbosa Jr. A lot of fans as well were doubting him. Oh, he's done, this and that. But even though he lost the fight, he showed a lot of display of skills, as always. Same Pedraza. Very good game plan. In the beginning, I told my dad, me and my dad agreeing, what is Pedraza doing? A lot of bouncing, a lot of head movement, coming forward, but not throwing up punches. While Barbosa is on his back foot jabbing and landing solid jabs and good counters. And I'm like, Pedraza, let your hands go. And I guess that was part of the game plan, because as the rounds progressed, we realized, okay, I guess he's putting pressure. We saw he was putting pressure, and Barbosa was kind of slowing down. And then, like around round 6, I was like, I think this pressure is getting to Barbosa. Maybe that was the game plan all along. And now here comes Pedraza landing shots, landing counter shots, being slippery again in there, landing body shots. And it was getting to Barbosa. Barbosa was backing up a lot, and the pressure was getting to him. He looked tired. I was like, oh, my God. Pedraza is coming back in this fight really, really good, the second half of the fight. But the thing is, Pedraza, he's done it in the Comey fight and the Ramirez fight. He steps on the gas halfway through the fight in the second half. And that's what happened last night. If Pedraza stepped on the gas early, I think he would have had a chance to stop Barbosa. Barbosa was slowing down a lot in that last round. He was gassed because of the pressure, mental pressure that Pedraza brought, the angles, the body shots, all those, everything. If this was a 12-rounder, Pedraza would have probably had a chance to win the fight. It was getting that close. Some say it was a draw. I saw it a little closer than what the scorecards were. Some say it was a much more easier fight to score, like clear loss for Pedraza. I disagree. It was a pretty good fight. That last round was a give and take all the way through. Pedraza started late, and that's what made the fight very good and closer than what the scorecards were. But Barbosa got the job done. He let his hands go more. Um, he was a more active fighter with his punches. Even though Pedraza had his moments, it was a pretty good fight. I made my predictions on this fight a couple of days ago, and it went the way I expected it. But I told everyone if Pedraza was on his A game, Barbosa was going to have a problem. And that's exactly what happened. Barbosa did have a problem because before the fight ended, Barbosa was gassed. Pedraza's mental pressure, that mental pressure got to him. Pedraza had a good game plan. It worked, but it was too late to pull it out on the cards. Like I said, if it was a 12-rounder, it would have been different. But good fight nonetheless. Barbosa on to the next at 140, top 140. Pedraza goes down to 29-5. Because of his performance, even though he lost, he can be back in the big stage again. The thing is I don't like about Pedraza losing is that he's going to become likely a gatekeeper for prospects coming up. And me being a Pedraza fan, I don't like that. I mean, if I'm a fan of a certain boxer and it comes to a point where they start to become gatekeepers for prospects, up-and-coming fighters, I'm not a fan of that because then that's what it is. They go in there, come for a check, they get beat up, and I don't want to see Pedraza in that position at all. Pedraza has always been a hell of a fighter, 2-division world champion, and I don't want to see Pedraza become a gatekeeper at all. So even if he does back, I feel he will. I would like him to get a victory. If not, I would like him to retire. I don't want to see Pedraza become one of those gatekeepers and get beaten up by prospects every fight. I don't want that. I don't want that. Barbosa, on the other hand, congratulations, great fight. And on to the next at 140. Hopefully he gets Teofimo Lopez. That's the fight at 140, one of the biggest fights at 140 to make. And the main event, Emmanuel Navarette against Wilson. Man, what a fight. That was the fight of the year. Candidate, Navarette on the floor off a left hook from Wilson. That was surprise. That alone, Navarette getting dropped was an upset in itself. I was like, oh my God, Navarette about to get stopped. Wilson's going to do this. Underdog. Like, what? But the thing what happened is when Navarette went down and he got up, the referee gave him the count, but then the mouthpiece was on the ground. Smart by Navarette, but at the time, all that was happening, I was like, what the hell? They're messing up Wilson's momentum. Wilson had Navarette really hurt, but it is what it is. The mouthpiece came back on. Navarette took some time to recover, and when the fight restarted, once again, they were going at it. A lot of exchanges. Navarette landing bombs, Wilson landing bombs. Navarette got rocked again from uppercuts and left hooks in an exchange. Navarette was able to recover, and I think it was like in the 8th, 9th round. Navarette started to his pressure, his body shots, his awkwardness started to get to Wilson, and Wilson broke down mentally, physically, couldn't take it anymore, and eventually Navarette got the stoppage in a firefight. Navarette shows why he is El Vaquero, and now is a 3-division world champion at 130 pounds. Very good fight. One of the best fights this year so far. What you guys think of this fight last night if you watched the card? Any comments? It was a pretty good action fight. That whole card was pretty good. Tonight we got some more boxing, but with the Amanda Serrano versus Erica Cruz undisputed championship fight at 126 pounds. Looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure you guys are as well. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't want to come on here. I want to come on here live, not for a long time, but just to make it short and sweet about the card last night. I enjoyed it. Pretty good fights. Tonight's more boxing. At what age? And that's about it, guys. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed the fight last night as much as I did. And I'm looking forward to tonight's boxing between Amanda Serrano and Erica Cruz for the undisputed 126-pound championship Erica Cruz, the WBA champion. Amanda Serrano holding the Ring Magazine, WBC, IBF, and WBO titles. It's a big fight, guys. Mexico and Puerto Rico. I'll be tuning in, of course. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. This will be the end of my live right here. And this is Miracle Boy Boxing. I'm hosting Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It's always a pleasure to talk boxing with you guys. All right? Peace.